Hello everybody, welcome to Weekly Tech. How are you all? Today in this video, we will discuss about most useful array methods in JavaScript. The first method is concat. Concat is used to concat two or more than two arrays in JavaScript. So for example, I have num1, num2 and num3. So now I want a final array which will be the concatenation of num1 and num2. Let num all equal to num1 dot concat it with num2, and the output will be stored in num all variable. And let me console it for you, and there you are. So num1 was 1 2 3 4 and num2 was 5 6 7 8, and the resultant will be the concatenation of both the arrays. So in most of the videos and article, people will stop here and move on to the next method. But in case if someone asks you how to concat more than two arrays, or let's say I want to concat num1, num2 and num3, all of them at a single line, how to do that? So concat method takes multiple arguments as arrays, so you can pass num3 also here, concatenated array of num1, num2 and num3. Wonderful, isn't it? Now the next method is every method. So every method checks for a particular condition against all the elements in an array, and if that condition is met on all the elements of the array, on each and every element on the array, then it will return a boolean value, true or false. So for example, I'll do every result and I'll store it in a variable, and I'll do num1 dot every, and every will take a function. So the first parameter will be the element, and then we'll return the boolean value of a condition, and the condition will be, let's say now I want to check whether all the elements are greater than 10. Okay, so this return is necessary here. So let me console log the output of every method, and false. The output is false because not even a single element of num1 array is greater than 10. And if I do the opposite, if all of them less than 10, so I'll get a true. If one of them is greater than 10, then I'll get a false. It will check a condition against all the elements, and if that condition is met, it will return true, otherwise it will return false. And this return is necessary here. We are using an arrow function, and we have only one line here, so we can omit this parenthesis, and this return we can remove, and we can simply have our arrow function looking like this, and it will work for us. Okay, if it is greater than 10, false, and I'll remove it and I'll do true. And the exact opposite is our next method, that is sum method. Every method checks for a particular condition on all the elements. If that condition is true for all the elements, true is returned, otherwise a false is returned. Sum, on the same hand, if the same condition is true for at least one element, then sum will return a true. Okay, for example, I say let sum result equal to num1 dot sum, and I'll have the element, and I'll use arrow function. For now, use the parenthesis. So I'll return the element is greater than 2. So if you see in num1, only few of the elements are greater than 2, 3 and 4. So let's check the output. True, and this true is for this console log. So for now, let me just comment out the other consoles so that the console will be clear, and let's try again. Okay, so we got true because a few of the elements are greater than 2, and that's what sum does. It will check for a condition, and if at least one element is meeting that condition, it will return true. And we can remove this return and parenthesis here because we are using arrow function, and we have only one line here in the arrow function, and the same will work. Okay, so the next one is fill method. So fill will fill the elements in the array for you, and fill takes three arguments. The first one is the number or the element with which you want to fill the array, the start index and the end index. Okay, so if I want to fill num, let me just console directly here, num1 dot fill it with zeros, no starting, no end. So it will fill the whole array, the num1 array, with zeros from starting till the end. Okay, now if I say fill it with 100 from the third index, and I won't give the end index, so it will fill it till the end. So 0 1 2 3, the third index will be 100. If I give it 1 here, so it will start from this 2 and will give 100 in the output. And if I give the last parameter, that is the end index, then it will give us 100 and 100 at the first and the second index. Please note the last index is not included. We have given 3 here, but it has filled till the second index. Okay, wonderful, isn't it? So let's move on to our next method, that is the find method. And find will find the first element which satisfy a particular condition. So sum and every will return true and false for you. So sum will work on at least one element and every will work on all the elements. And on the same hand, just like sum and every, find will also takes a condition, and it will cross check elements of the array against that condition, and if that element meet that condition, it will return that element. So for an example, if I say let the result will be found, and I will say num1 dot find the element, then the condition, and I will say the condition will be return when the element is greater than 2. So in num1 I have two elements. Let me console num1 also here. So in num1 I have two elements which are greater than 2, that is 3 and 4, but find will return the first element which will satisfy the condition. Then in our case the condition is it should be greater than 2. So let me console log found, and it will give us 3 in the output. Okay, find give us the element itself which satisfy the condition, the first element which satisfy the condition. But if you are not interested in the element but you are interested in the index, then you can use the find index method, and rest everything is same. Okay, so let me comment this out, and the next function is find index, and we can utilize the same code, and instead of find I'll use find index, and rest everything is same. It will return us the index 0 1 and 2. It will give us the second index, the first element which is satisfying this condition. Cool, isn't it? So the next method is includes. So includes is my favorite. Let me just use the animals array, and let me just copy it down here so it will be easy to see the array. And I will console log num, not this time, num and animals dot includes, and I'll check whether the animals array include the value cat, and yes, it will give me a value true. And let me comment out this console, and let's try again. So true. Okay, so few things. Include is case sensitive, so if you give a capital C here, it won't work, it will fail, and it won't check for a regular expression kind of thing. If you do it like this, though it is the part of the first element, it will give you a false. Okay, so it should exactly match the variable or the element of the array, and it is also case sensitive. So in this case it will work for you and give you a true in the output. So the next one is join. It's one of the most used method in arrays, join. So what join will do, join will return a string for you. It will join all the elements of the array, and if you want pass anything in the join method, it will join the elements by a comma separated value, just like this, join. And if you won't pass anything, it will convert the array into a comma separated string. Okay, now if you give a empty string here, it will give you the output. If you give a plus here, and you can give anything here. Okay, so you can give plus here, and the output will be, the elements will be concatenated by a plus symbol, and the output will be in string. So if you have a null here, so join will skip this with an, or replace this null with an empty string. So in this case, the behavior will be like this. You will have a double plus here, because it will replace this null with an empty string. If you don't have any element here, again the same behavior, it will replace it with an empty string. So the next method is, so for now let me remove this undefined because we don't need it here, and it's looking good. Okay, so let's move on with our next method, which is reverse method. So reverse will reverse the array. So in our case, I want to reverse the animals array, reverse like this, and it will return a new array which is exactly in the reverse order of the original array. And the next method is slice method. So slice is one of the most useful and used method in JavaScript. So slice will slice that array for you and will return a new array. So slice will basically takes two arguments, start and end, in which the end is not included, the end index is not included. So for example, I have again the animals array and I want to slice it, animals dot slice, and I want to slice it from the 0th index till the 3rd index. Okay, so I want 0, 1, 2 and 3. So I want cat, dog, fox and elephant in a new array, and I'll got it. Okay, now I was saying the same thing and I did the mistake. The last index is not included, so 3 is not included, and it will give us the output as an array till the 2nd index. So 0, 1 and 2, it will give us cat, dog and fox. So if you give a minus here, like just like -1, so please remember, when you give a -1, -2, something like this, so the trick here is when you read an array, you read it from left to right. So you read it like 0, 1, 2, 3. When you give a minus, so you will read it in a reverse order. So duck will be at -1, lion will be at -2. So here I am asking to slice it from 0th index till the last element. Okay, so you will get exactly the same array in the output, and the last index is not included, so -1 won't be there, so duck will not be the part of the output array. Okay, and if you do it like -2 till -1, so -2 will be lion, so you will get lion in the output since the last index is not included. So slice is a very good method. It won't affect the original array, still you have the original array intact. Okay, it won't destroy animals, it won't destroy the original array, it will give you a new array in the output. So it's a very useful method, slice. Practice it and let me know in the comment section if it is a bit confusing and you want further discussion on that. But that's it with slice. Okay, start and end, where the end is not included. So let's move on with our next method, which is the brother of slice, that is splice, splice. So splice will destruct the original array, and splice is basically used to insert elements inside the array at any position, and most of the time to remove an element from an array at a certain index. I'll show it to you. So splice will basically take 3 arguments. The first one is the start index, the second one is the delete count, how many elements you want to remove, and the third one are not the third one actually, the first one is the start, the second one is the delete count, and after that items. Okay, so item 1, item 2, so these are the items which you want to insert in the array or you want to replace. Okay, so to clear it more, so let me give you an example, and before that let me console the animals array, because as I said, slice method will destruct the original array. So I want to see the original array before splicing it, and now Splice will return the removed elements. So animals, so I want to see what are the elements that Splice removed. So animals dot splice, and I want to splice it from the 0th index is total number of count. So from 0 the count will be 2. So let me console the elements first here. Yeah, so now from 0th from 0th index, take two elements cat and dog, and replace these two elements with not these two elements, remove these two elements and insert zebra here. Okay, so please note, it is not like you are removing three elements so it will insert zebra for all these three elements. No, it's not like this. You are giving only one item here, so it will insert only one item. It will insert zebra at only one position. Still you are removing two uh, values or two elements from the array. Let me console it to clear the confusion. So now I will console the animals array also. So before splicing I have this array, and Splice has removed two elements, and that's what we have asked it to do. From 0th index remove two elements, so from 0 remove two elements cat and dog, and then replace that removed element with zebra. Okay, so if you see, we have removed two elements, but we can see only one zebra here, and that's the way Splice work. So if you want to replace these two elements with two items, then you need to give two items here, so zebra and frog. Okay, so in this case you have zebra and frog and fox here, and you can, it's not necessary that the number of delete counts or the number of items that you are removing should be equal to or greater than the items. You can have, you can remove n number of items and you can insert m number of items, so there is no relation between both of them. Okay, so if you are removing two items, so you can insert three items also. So it's like frog, you are inserting zebra, frog, and let's say cattle. It will give you the correct output. Okay, so cat and dog you have removed, but now you have inserted three items. So please note, this second argument is not the index, it is the number of counts or the number of elements which you want to remove from this index. Okay, so if I want to remove two elements from 0th index, I'll give it like this. And if I want to remove, let's say, the only one element from second index, only one element, okay, so I give it like this, remove only one element from the second index, so 0, 1 and 2, and remove that fox only, and keep dog and elephant, and after that still intact. So it removed fox, and instead of, and in place of fox I'll have zebra, frog and cattle, and then the original array. Okay, so Splice is a very useful method, but please remember, Splice will destruct the original array, where the first element is the starting index and the second one is the count. You will start from that index till how many elements, and then the items itself. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now let's move on with the next method, and I want to cover all these last four remaining methods into one. These are one of the most famous methods in arrays: push, pop, shift and unshift. Okay, so if you want to insert an element in the array, you will do push, and push will insert an element at the last. So animals dot push, and it will insert an element at the last. Okay, so if I do animals dot push cattle, so you will get, so push will return the length of the new array. So previously the length was 6. Let me log it for you also, and let me log the original array also, animals dot length, and I want to log animals also, and like this. Okay, so previously the length was 6 and this is the array. Now the length is 7, and this 7 is written by this console, line number 70. The push will return the length of the new array, and now cattle is there at the last, you can see. So push is used to insert elements. You can, it's not necessary that it will only take one argument. It's a variadic function, so you can have n number of arguments. So cattle, cow, like this. Okay, so it will insert it. And on the same hand, pop is used to remove an element. So animals dot pop. Okay, so it will remove one element from the last, only one element from the last. Okay, so and it will return the removed element. So let me console animals after removing the element. So before that I have cow at the last element. Now pop has removed the last element, it has returned the last element, and now I have array till cattle. So now the question is, you can insert a new element but at the last index, and you can remove that element using pop. Both push and pop will insert and remove the element at the last index. But what if you want to insert and remove the element at the first index? So there you can use shift and unshift method. So shift will remove the first element for you. Okay, so let me uncomment this console. I want to see what animals is holding, and I can do a console.log for animals dot shift, and shift will remove the first element for me, and it will return the element which it is removing. And let me console the array itself after the shift, and you can see the first element is cat and it has removed the first element, and now the first element is removed. Now I can see an array with the first element is dog. Okay, and I can use unshift to insert at the first index. I can do animals dot unshift. Okay, so I'll insert cattle, I'll insert cow, and it can take n number of argument, and it will insert the elements at the start of the array. So it will return 7 for you, that's length. And let me console the actual array, and you can see cattle and cow at the start of the array. And one last thing that I forgot to mention about the slice method. Let me go to the slice method. So if I won't give items here, it will simply remove the elements. Okay, so if I remove these items, so from 0th index I want to remove 2 items, so it will simply remove 2 items from 0th index, and after that do nothing. Okay, so it will remove cat and dog from 0th index, like cat and dog, 2 items from 0th index, and will keep rest of the array as it is. Okay, so if I won't provide item to Splice, it will simply remove it. So that's it folks. I think I have covered all the most useful array methods in JavaScript that will be useful for you when you do coding and when you do some operations on arrays. I hope you enjoyed the video. So please like, share and subscribe. It takes a lot of time and hard work to make such kind of videos. Please let me know in the comment section if you have some suggestion, query or doubt with this video. Everything is appreciable guys. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.